So we'll continue with the introduction of the first chapter. So is my screen visible? Yes, guys. Say anyone else.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So today we'll discuss about some common myths about or misconceptions about the software testing. Misconceptions. Misconceptions about the software testing. So the first myth is testing is too expensive. As we believe testing is too expensive, that is too costly. The reality is that there is saying pay less for the testing during the software development or pay more for the maintenance or correction later, and early testings that saves both the time and cost in many aspects. So actually the reality what the people they do is they pay very less, like they less effort for testing during the software development. Okay, the less payments like they won't go for the testing of all the modules, so they pay less for the testing during the software development and pay more for the maintenance and correction later. Maintenance and correction later. So early testing that saves both the time and cost in many aspects. So we need to do the testing as early as possible. So if you do the testing in the early phases, the testing is not an expensive. The testing is not a expensive. So this is one of the misconception. Misconception what is that? Testing is too expensive. Testing is not expensive if you do the testing in the early stages, because there are, if you do the testing in the early phases, there are less number of defects they carry in the other phases. So because of the more number of defect that arises in the requirement phase only. However, reducing the cost without testing, reducing the cost without testing may result in improper design of the software application and rendering the product useless. So if you deliver the software without testing, that may result in the product useless. Okay, so the testing is very important, and testing is not an expensive if we start the testing in the early phases. So that is the first myth. The second is testing is time consuming. Testing is a time consuming, but in reality, during the software development lifecycle phases, testing is never a time consuming process. Means if we follow the SDLC phases, if we follow the SDLC phases, requirement, designing and coding, deployment, maintenance. So if we follow the phases phase wise, then the testing is not a time consuming. However, diagnosing and fixing the errors identified during the proper testing is a time consuming, but it's a productive activity, because you won't get more maintenance after delivering the software. So it is a more productive activity. It's a more productive activity. So SDLC phases, the testing is a never time consuming process if we follow the SDLC. Means if we like after the requirement, we'll go for the verification and validation testing process. Verification and verification and validation after the requirement. Then in the design, we go for if reviewing the design. Then in the coding, so in the coding, if we go for the In the coding, we go for the unit testing. So at the end of each page, we are doing some testing process. So it is not a means it is a productive one. Initially, it may take time for like fixing the errors and all, but it is a productive one. So if suppose if you are not audible or if there is any problem, because you can interrupt me in the middle because my screen is the full screen mode at my side. So if you find any problem or if it is not audible, then you can interrupt me in the middle. Then the third one, only the fully developed software, fully developed products are tested. My three means what we assume that only if the software is completed, then that only we can test. Only the fully developed product are tested. So that is a misconception. Third myth. In reality, no doubt testing that depends on the source code. The testing depends upon the source code, but reviewing requirement and developing test cases is independent from the developed code. So, however, the iterative or incremental approach as a development lifecycle model that may reduce the dependency of testing on the fully developed software. The iterative means in iterative and incremental. Like for example, a particular module one. So the initially we work on the module one, and we go for all the phases. We go for requirement, designing, coding, and testing phase. So one small module. Then we go for another module. So that is incremental and iterative model. So in each phase, this is a second module in the similar to third module. So we here
Sir,
yes
sir, students are
we are testing the different modules. Module one, module two, module three. So only fully developed products are tested. It's a wrong myth or misconception. Uh, where we are testing the independent different modules also. Then fourth myth, the complete testing is possible. Complete testing, complete software testing is possible, but in reality, it becomes an issue when a client or the tester thinks that complete testing is possible. It is possible that all the paths have been tested by the team, but occurrence of the complete testing is never possible. So 100% it is never possible. There might be some scenarios that are never executed by the tester team. There are some scenarios that never executed by the test team or the client during the software development lifecycle. So the this misconception, the complete testing is not possible. Okay, we can say it's a complete test, but it is not possible due to some of the scenarios, and and it may be executed once the project have been deployed. So this is one of the misconception that complete testing is possible. It is a misconception. Complete 100. We can't say that your software is 100% bug free. We can't say that your software is 100% bug free. Then myth 5 is tested software is a bug free. Tested software is a bug free. This is also one of the misconception. We can't say that the software is 100% bug free. This is very common myth that the clients, the project managers, and the management team believes that the software is a bug free. So no one can claim with absolute certainty that software application is 100% bug free, even if a tester with the super testing skills has tested the application. Even the experienced people they tested the software also. It is not a 100% bug free. Once the client or the end users, once they start to use the application, then they will find the different bugs or errors. So we should not claim that the developer software application is a 100% bug free. Then missed defects. Missed defects are due to the testers. Missed defects are due to testers. This is one of the misconception. Some of the defects are missed, and it is due to the testers. So it is not because of the tester. It is not because of the tester. In reality, it is not a correct approach to blame only the testers. It is not a correct approach to blame the testers for the bugs that remain in the application even after testing has been confirmed. Even after the testing has been confirmed. Okay, so we should not blame only the testers for the bugs that remain in the application even after the testing has been performed. This might relate to the time, cost, and requirement changing constraints. Requirement, if the user if is continuously changing the requirements, so these are the constraints that affect. However, the test strategy may also result in bugs being missed by the testing team. So missed defects are due to the testers. Missed defects are due to testers. We should not blame only for the tester that only because of you the software is not working properly. We should not blame only the testers. So this is one of the misconception. There are many parameters that affects time. We should give more time for the testing, and it really affect the cost also. Cost may increase if you give more time, the cost increases, and if you change the requirements, then that also affect to the software. So missed defects are due to the tester is one of the misconception. The next, testers are responsible for the quality of the product. Testers are responsible for the quality of the product. So this is also one of the misconceptions. Only testers are responsible for the quality of the product. No, in reality, it is very common misinterpretation that only the testers or the testing team should be responsible for the product quality. So testers' responsibility include the identification of the bugs to the stakeholders, and then it is their decisions whether they will fix the bugs or release the software. So it's the tester responsibility that include the identification of the bugs, identify the bugs in a software, and their decisions whether they will fix the bugs or the release the software. So as per the test cases, they will find the bugs. But for the quality of the product or the whole project team is responsible for the quality of the product. Not only the testers. Testers they find the bugs and they will prepare a report to the developers. But only the tester is not responsible. Along with the testers, the whole team, the development team, the project manager, everyone is responsible for the because they are working in a team and they are all responsible for the quality of the product. So releasing the software at the time puts more pressure on the testers as they will be blamed for any error. Releasing the software at the time puts more pressure on the testers as they will be blamed for any error because the final software while testing, so the testers they will face the more pressure. Okay, so testers are not only responsible for the product, even the development team, the project team, project manager, everyone is responsible for the quality of the product. Then the myth 8, test automation should be used whenever possible to reduce the time. Test automation. Test automation should be used whenever possible to reduce the wherever possible to reduce the time. Yes, in reality, yes, it is true that test automation that reduces the testing time, but it is not possible to start the test automation at any time during the software development. So test automation should be started when the software has been manually tested and it is stable to some extent. Means normally in the industry, the for testing the software, they go for the manual testing and automation testing, manual and automation testing, and depend upon the project, they will prefer for the both manual testing, automation testing, or to reduce the time. Sometimes to reduce the time, they will go for the automation testings. Even some industry they will directly go for the automation to reduce the cost and all. They will go for the automation testing. So test automation should be started when the software has been manually tested and is stable to some extent. Moreover, test automation that can be never be used if the requirements keep changing. If the requirements of the software, if it is changing, then that automation should not be used. So test automation should be used wherever it's possible to reduce the time. Next myth is misconception. Anyone can test the software application. Anyone can test the software application. So people outside the IT industry, they think and even believe that anyone can test the software. They think that anyone can test the software and testing is not a creative job. But it is wrong thing. Testing is a creative activity because testing is very important. It is a very important process in the software development. So testing is it is a very important part of the, and it is a creative, it is not a creative means it is one of the misconception. However however tester knows very well that this is a myth. Thinking alternative scenarios, because we are testing the software application in a positive and in a negative conditions, in different scenarios, in a different scenarios. So try to okay, thinking alternative scenario, try to crash the software with the intent to explore the potential bugs is not possible for the persons who developed it. So it is one of the misconception that anyone can test the software applications. Then next myth is a tester's only task is to find the bugs. A tester's only task is to find the bugs. So finding the bug in a software is a task of testers. A tester's only task is to find the bugs. Finding the bugs in the task is a task of the testers, but at the same time, they are the domain experts of the particular software. So developers are only responsible for the specific component or the area that is assigned to them, but the testers they understand the overall working of the software. So what the dependencies are and the impact of one module to another module. So this is one of the misconception. Okay, a tester only the task is to find the bugs. So sometimes the testers also domain experts, so they have the more experience, so they can also fix the errors.
Being a
So
big